I just played a tournament, my first one in over a month, and it is a quad, so it's 3 rounds, a round robin. People are grouped by rating, and I'm playing Kevin. I don't know. I didn't know his last name when I was inputting this game on chess.com, but now I do. It's Kevin Andrew John Francis Kennedy. He has 5 names. I think that's he's my opponent with the most amount of names ever. I don't think I've ever faced anyone with 5 names before, and he's this young Indian kid. I think he's Indian. And yeah, this was a really fun game. My first tournament back in a while. I played some extra rated games at tournaments I was running. 5 of them against 5 extra rated games against people significantly lower rated. And so actually for this calendar year of 2026 so far, before this tournament I was 11 out of 13. And down 20 elo points. So that kind of tells you my average rating of my opponents. But what's really nice, so my opponent, he was around 1820 rated. So he's my first opponent in a while that's been around my rating. First opponent in a while that was over 1800, so a class A player just like me. That being said, let's just hop right in. And I played e4, he played the Sicilian, and I do my good old trusty Magnus Sicilian with an early d4, bringing my queen out early, unprincipled. And he played a6, he doesn't have to, he could play knight c6 first, doesn't matter. I play b3. With this move order, I could go bishop g5 or bishop f4, both are totally fine. And if I didn't mention this before, it's game in 40, delay 5, so pretty quick games, and these are just pretty quick games. Yeah, I could have brought my bishop out to e3 and not fianchetto. That would have been totally fine. But I decided to just play the same setup. It's game in 40, so I have to play fast, and I'm very familiar with these b3 fianchetto positions, so might as well play it. He played knight c6. I brought my queen back, and we both continue developing, and I castle queenside. He fianchettos his own bishop on the other side, and I play f3. And he thought here for a while. Castling is definitely the most common move, but he was trying to figure out, I think he was trying to figure out what happens to g4 and h4. And I think he got scared, naturally. And I have a lot of wins in this variation, where if my opponent goes a6 and b5, I go g4 and h4, and often white's attack is first, and white wins a lot of the time. So he didn't like it, so instead of castling, he went to h5, preempting g4, stopping g4 from happening in the first place. And I just go h3. h3 is a very interesting move because I'm saying, hey, I'm still going to get g4 in, maybe. I'm also, maybe I have the idea of going f4 at some point, and now you can't go knight g4 or bishop g4. So h3 is kind of a flexible move. I could have definitely developed my knight instead. I could have gone knight e2 or maybe even bishop d3. I mean, I'm sure they're all fine, but But h3 is very, very interesting because I really thought he might, if I go here, I thought he might continue with h4. I mean, probably not, but if in the case of h4, h3 and h4 now, if that does happen, I can actually go f4 and knight f3 and actually target this pawn in a lot of cases on h4. So I thought it actually made sense to go h3, but that maybe it wasn't the best move, but it turned out to be very useful later in the game. He went bishop e6, I went knight d2, both developing, and he goes rook c8. So, okay, I know he's not going to castle queenside now, he can't. And if he ever goes castles kingside, I still have g4. That's still a possibility. But instead of that, he never, I guess he does end up castling eventually, but for now he doesn't. I go knight f4. And at first I thought, maybe he'll go bishop h6. I actually thought that's something that he might do. And if bishop h6, I was planning to go king b1. Note that I did actually go through this entire game through my memory, so I think I got the move orders right, but it's possible that I went king b1 first and then knight f4, but I'm pretty sure I went knight f4 first and then king b1. But bishop h6 is definitely a possibility. But he can't really. It's not really that big of a threat. If he goes queen, let's say a5, for example. Now, so now if I take, I'm no longer hitting his queen. The worst case scenario, I can always just bring my other knight back and get out of the pin, or I can go g3 as well. I mean, everything's fine here. Probably best is to bring my other knight back, maybe. So, but I'm really not too concerned about this pin on my knight. But maybe I should have been a bit more concerned. Maybe G3 isn't too good. No, I think G3 is good. The more I think about it, the more I like G3. I'm probably gonna go knight d4 next, or knight d5 next. I mean, so that looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Actually, probably maybe instead of G3, I can go knight d5 right now. Actually, and if you take, then that's really good for me. I think. Actually, no. Now my rook's pinned. So maybe that's not good. Although it gets kind of tactical because my rook is hanging over here. So if like takes, I could take, and if takes, I could take. So it actually is kind of interesting. F6 though kind of blocks in my bishop, so maybe it's not great. Although F4 would block in his bishop. So although in this case, oh no. Actually, if he takes, then his knight would be hanging. So I mean, maybe you could go knight here, and then so now you're starting to go here. And now if I go G3 to defend my pawn, well, you could always escape this way. So now you actually just take and go here, but somehow the bishop is not trapped. Maybe you don't go there. Maybe you go like this here with the king to guard G7, and the bishop's going to be trapped. Oh, but maybe it's not. So maybe actually I go G4 now, and then if H5, maybe I go F4, and if here I go E5. So oh no, the bishop's no, the knight's hanging actually. No, this is very tricky actually. Yeah, if knight d8, then G5, and if takes, my bishop is getting out. So maybe it's okay. Anyways, that's a huge rabbit hole. So yeah, he could have been a bit more tricky and just played bishop h6. But he didn't. And instead he went queen d7. So I went king b1, prophylaxis against a bishop h6, getting my king off this diagonal. There are some cases where if I trade, then it's going to be tough to get out of this pin, because my queen would be pinned to my king. So getting rid of that potentiality. And he plays knight e5. And here, this is where I started to feel like, oh wait, this position is pretty good. Like, this is where I really started to get that sense, because now I'm able to attack with a lot of initiative. I have a lot of initiative here, and because I'm able to develop the rest of my pieces and solve all my problems. So I'm able to take the bishop, play f4. The knight can only move backwards. If knight d7, then I believe, I mean, this queen is like running out of squares. You have to give up a pawn to get out of it. So it's not very pleasant, to say the least. So you went knight c6, a bishop c4, queen d7. So every move, I'm expanding in the center. I move my bishop out, and now I centralize my rook, and now my position seems very beautifully coordinated here. I thought for a long time on whether or not I should sacrifice the pawn on e4, because knight takes e4 would attack my queen. So even though his bishop is hanging, I can't take it. And what if I went queen e3? If I went queen e3, then he could take maybe, and then if he takes, I would take back. And then I was trying to evaluate this position. I guess he could go knight c5. I suppose. Although now there's a fork, so maybe I didn't calculate very well. Maybe knight d5 was the best. Maybe knight d5 was the best move. And looking at it now, because I'm about to double up his f pawns and take on d6. So if he castles here, then I can just take and take and then take, and that seems pretty good. So yeah, I don't know. I guess knight d5 was better. I just didn't realize how quickly it was losing. Like knight here, queen here, and yeah, I mean, I guess the threat of knight f6 in some cases is really powerful. I didn't really think about that. And also knight b6 is also a threat to fork the queen and rook. So knight d5 was probably the better move, but I just played it more safely. I missed how powerful knight d5 was. He castled, and I played e5. So even though he castled, he's not safe at all because all of my center presence is able to come to fruition here. And yeah, I mean his pawn is just pinned. So I'm able to expand in the center. He goes knight h7. That's the only safe square for the knight, which is I guess knight e8 as well. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't go knight e8. Not sure what he didn't like about it, because it does guard d6. So I'm not 100% sure why he did not do it. I'm trying to think here. Maybe it's e6. Maybe e6 is something that he really didn't like. Which, honestly, e6 does look pretty appealing now that I'm looking at it physically. Actually, do I have it in the other position too? Like knight e7, e6 still? I mean, yeah, it looks pretty convincing to me. If like queen c7, then I can go check, and I mean, all roads lead to Rome here. At g4 maybe, or maybe just knight d5. Knight d5 seems. Oh yeah, knight d5 seems pretty reasonable. Looking at it right now, attacking the queen, attacking the bishop. So queen d7, I can just go take, and go check. And I'm not sure what you do. I don't even have to go check. I could just go like knight b6. Maybe instead of queen c7, queen b8 then. Oh, but then now you're gonna lose the e7 pawn. So it's actually not easy at all. Yeah, although I still kind of want to just go check here. And then if here, then I can take. Or I can take like this, actually. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. So anyways, so there's a lot of ways to lose. So actually, I wonder if e6 was better than my move. I just took the pawn, and he took back. He actually didn't have to. I thought there's a chance he could go e6 instead. I mean, because I may maybe argue that this pawn is like a weakness, and he's gonna win it back eventually. I mean, black is still worse, but maybe I thought that would be an interesting try. Man, I really wish I played e6 now because that was pretty beautiful. But he took back, and I went knight e5, or sorry, knight e4, and just attacking d6 one more time. And I actually thought it was very interesting. Like this approach of just like playing, this allowing me to take on d6 is very interesting because let's say we queen trade here, I go rook here, and like, yes, white should definitely be better, but actually it's just like, wasn't 100% sure. I mean, in hindsight, I didn't realize how powerful this idea was, where like I can maybe trade and then take on g6 because of the pin. Like that might legitimately be very powerful. And if b5, I can take the knight. I didn't calculate this during the game, but I mean it gets a little bit dicey with like rook e1. But I mean I guess king f8 really kills my position. Really kills me here. Because what am I supposed to do? My rook is hanging, and I don't really see a good way out of it. So yeah, I'm glad I did not go for this, but that is an idea. And if I just go here, I guess I still have that idea of rook takes g6. And I have knight d5, so I'm definitely better here, but I wasn't. But I wasn't as winning as I thought I would be. Like like okay, this white is better, but is it really that good? And it looked like there'd be still a lot of more work left to do. So that's why instead of just taking back immediately on d6, I play knight e4. Knight e4, attacking f6, attacking g5, attacking d6. And I actually thought he would probably take on b2, and then play a move like queen. Well, maybe develop. Well, I'm not really sure what he was gonna do. A lot of times you could go queen f5, and there's some queen f6 possibilities at some point, but they're probably not that good. But I thought he would take my bishop, but instead of actually, he plays b5, and this bishop does not move. This bishop does not move at all for the next like 5 moves. So watch this. So I go check, and I actually thought he might go f6 here. And it's very interesting. If he does go f6, I guess I'd probably just take the pawn on d6, and after like queen, I don't know, queen c7, for example. Let's say that. Then I might have bishop e6, which is pretty insane. And now, like, if the knight moves, for example, then I can just take, and my queen is defended by my knight, which is insane. And then if he moves, of course, then you lose the knight, which is pretty insane. So I think his position is just falling apart. He goes king g8, and now I just take on d6. And if he goes queen c7 or queen b7 or anything like that, then like I'm just going to go check, and it's going to be mate immediately. This is just checkmate. So kind of crazy. So that's why he goes queen f5 to defend, but now I just go knight f6 check. And I thought he might try king h8. I thought king h8 was an interesting try. And I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do. I ended up deciding that if he did play king h8, I was going to play g4. That was the main thing. Oh, and this is a no engine recap until the very end. That's what I was forgetting. Yeah, no engine recap until the very end. I was going to play g4, and so attacking his queen, and I really thought there was nothing he could do. Like, because all of these squares are covered by my knight and my other pieces. And I mean, I guess he could go here, I guess. But at a bare minimum, I have knight d7 check, picking up the queen. So, and of course, if he just takes twice, then, game over. If you take here, I have check, and I'm going to pick up the queen. So I thought it was... So I knew if king h8, g4 would have been a really nice finish. So he takes, and then he sees that there is really no way out. Like the queen, the rook blocks out the queen's defense of g6. So if queen here, then of course once again check here and mate. So he gave up his queen, won the bishop. And now, like, dude, this is absolutely winning for white. Absolutely winning. However, you have to be a little bit precise here. Like, if you took on c4, like, you're just making your life very hard. It's probably still objectively winning, but you have to deal with knight moving in. Your king has no shelter. It's very, very tricky here. Like, for example, you played a lazy move. Like, well, actually, let's say, like, check. Let's say you win in the corner. And let's say, like, knight b4. It's just a little bit dicey. You have to worry about knight c2 checkmate. And let's say, like, you play rook e2. And, like, maybe now I play knight, rook f d8. And it's more to think about and more you have to deal with. So of course I did not address this c pawn. I just played f5. Like, I'm going to make your king weak, give a bunch of checks, win more pawns, win more material, and he brings his king over. And now it's a good idea actually, because now if I take on g6, he's gonna take back with the pawn, and now I don't have any checks, and now he's going to infiltrate into my position. I'm still definitely winning, but it's a lot more work. So instead, I just play g4, calm, cool, and collected, and he ends up playing knight d8, which is like the last blunder, but I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like, your position is completely lost. It's really hard to defend. And here I just take on g6 because he cannot take back because of his rook would be hanging. So his knight disconnects his rooks from defending each other. So he goes back, and now I play a nice move, g7, just trapping his rook. And there's nothing he can do. Definitely nothing he can do. With knight e6, I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I takes, and he goes king g7. I go, oh wait, did he go king g7? Yeah, I think so, yeah. And, oh yeah, okay, yeah, after g4, he throws in c takes b3. And then I recapture. And then he plays knight d8. So this is where I was wondering why the notation wasn't automatically moving. So after, yeah, queen takes c6, g7, I go check again. And I take on h5 with the pawn because I was just planning on pushing h6 and setting up a mate or something. I could have taken with the queen, doesn't matter. He goes check, king is safe, he goes back, I go h6, he moves up, I defend, he goes here, but now I just go check, and if you go back, it's mate, so he goes forward, I go check, and I bring his king to the edge of the board, and now he's out of moves, and it's in the immediate checkmate. So it was a pretty fun game. Like, I think in general, I think I did a good job of, like, I think he missed some opportunities to make it harder for me to win. But I think in general, I did a good job of taking the initiative, seizing the initiative with this move. And I'm actually really disappointed for myself for not playing e6 here. I think e6 is significantly better than what my move did, you know, than my move in the game. Admittedly, I was getting lower on time. Like, I think at this point, I had less than 10 minutes, maybe less than 5 minutes. No, I think I still had like 8 minutes at least, or 7 minutes at least. So I definitely had enough time. So I do actually wish I went for this. Although, admittedly, I can go back to f6. So, but I think I do just have the initiative though so much. So if I had saw e6, I would have played it. But I didn't. So you know, I didn't. But other than that, I think I did a really good job of, you know, queen c3 check, very prudent, you know, not responding to b5 at all, letting my bishop hang there until it died. You know, it was really, really, you know, I'm really proud of myself for this one. I held my nerves. I think I only ended the end of the game with a minute on the clock, so a lot more than I usually have on the clock. So ultimately, I was very happy. So with that being said, I want to hit the game review. Actually, with that being said, let's turn on the engine and look at the game review together. Let's see if there's any interesting moments here. I don't think there's going to be too many interesting moments. Let's keep going here. Yeah, h3 and an accuracy, king b1 is better, but it's still just a fine move. Yeah, knight d5 is better. I don't know. Is it really that much better? Like, I don't really see it. Because if... Yeah, I mean, what if it just bishop takes, though? Bishop takes, e takes, knight e5. f4, the knight has to go back, and the knight f3. So I guess you're just playing with the initiative is the main idea. Like rook c8, could go c4 in some cases. Knight g5. I don't really see the ideas in this position. What's wrong with castling too? I guess g4. Okay, I guess g4 makes a lot of sense. But anyways, yeah. Okay, h3 and an accuracy apparently, and knight f4, a big mistake. g3 first is interesting. g3 first, and if knight d7, now I go f4. So it wants me to go g3 and then f4. So after h5, switching plans to g3 and f4, very interesting. Like maybe going to go bishop g7 and then control d5 even more. It's very interesting actually. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no. Here, bishop h6 would have made the position equal, and it wants me to bring my other knight back. So that's what he missed. And then, yeah, here, this is the final mistake. Now I'm +2. And, yep, playing with the initiative. And here, yep, e6, much, much better. This one, it's only +2. e6 was +4. So, whatever. It is what it is. But other than that, I played a pretty good game. And, yeah, I'm very happy with myself overall. So, that being said, I'm going to hit the full game review. See you guys in the next one.